really strange that within that one period of the violence, we were able to trace patterns within the way people were sending social media messages. Can we use those algorithms to prevent something like Jeremiah happening in the future? How do we use this? How can we use AI to make new change, to help either prevent human rights violations or if it happens to address it? And let me take a moment to really appreciate all the people that have made today possible. First of all, I have been really involved with the personal tragedy that happened in home, so I left my team in charge of this. This event has really been done by the core team at Nchr. I'd like to acknowledge Iman Malik, Mustafa, Alize, Umar, Zunera, Nchr, all my members of the commission who really pushed this forward. I would like to acknowledge our amazing partners, the UNDP, who has really been an ally to this commission from the day it started. Accelerate Prosperity, who has brought unmatched entrepreneurial and technical expertise. Nchr, our hosts who have opened their doors and their hearts to this journey. The Supreme Court of Pakistan, with the support of the Chief Justice of Pakistan, and I have a member from the Supreme Court here, to all of you for helping us shape our future. Each one of you has decided to show up showing belief in a system that can change. And this is what really leadership looks like, not just one person alone standing here on the stage, but all of you together, making change, staying up late, working to revise the system, and to change it to move forward. So I need to also with all of us here, as from our generation, with the thought that youth really is the future. Youth is the present. We cannot ignore your presence here. The world needs your ideas. Human rights challenges we face, which are incredible in Pakistan: discrimination, inaccessibility, inequality. We can't wait for those answers tomorrow. We need those solutions. And after I've seen what you all have thought of, I have no doubt that the solutions to the problems that we have will come from people like you. So I urge you, all you youth who have met us today and over the last 4 days, to please stay connected with the Commission, to keep building, to keep believing. And let us not end this journey with just Justice Tech, but the beginning of a movement in which young people come forward to give solutions to old people like me, and where technology will meet humanity, and where innovation should drive equality and the address of human rights. So thank you to all of you for being here, to the young people for helping us, for really staying up late at night and doing this, and I wish you all the best. And even whoever wins, it's not the winning, it's the competition, and it's it's the feeling of camaraderie and togetherness that you all have with you. So whoever may win, the best person wins, but the best person is not always the winner. So all the best to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, for your opening remarks. Over the past few weeks, our young teams from across Pakistan have come together to reimagine how technology can help advance access to justice. They gave up their weekend for us. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they were at the Nchr office bright and early, and that's the kind of spirit we like to see here. Rewiring Rights is all about doing just that, rethinking how we can use digital tools to say goodbye to piles and piles of paper. We have government employees here. You guys know how painful that is. Reduce court delays, tackle case backlogs, bring justice delivery into the digital age. That said, we received 90 applications from across Pakistan. 18 teams were shortlisted, and we have our 4 finalists with us today. Each team will be given 8 to 10 minutes to pitch their idea to our expert judges. They'll face some questions, maybe even some grilling. Go easy on our team's judges. And that said, everybody, let's meet our judges. We're going to go from right to left. We have Ms. Nchr. It is a privilege to introduce a true pioneer of Pakistan's technology and startup ecosystem. Ms. Nchr, the founder and CEO of Catalyst Labs, a leading startup accelerator and innovation hub. For over 2 decades, she has championed the growth of Pakistan's tech industry, serving as the president of Pasha for 25 years and founding the Nest.io, which has incubated hundreds of startups. Through Catalyst Labs, she continues to empower entrepreneurs, especially women, through startup acceleration, leadership fellowships, and groundbreaking conferences like 92 Disrupt. Ms. Nchr has been recognized globally, named among the rest of world's top 100 changemakers in tech, and she has been honored with the Tamga Imtiaz by the President of Pakistan. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Nchr. Also join me in welcoming Ms. Roma Labib, the Country Director of Accelerate Prosperity. Ms. Roma is currently leading the Accelerate Prosperity Pakistan team to foster entrepreneurship and innovation across the country. Her work at AP has also entailed establishing blended learning systems for cross-border learning, as well as strategizing data-driven programs and innovative financing mechanisms for high growth and impact potential businesses. Through her previous work, she has supported over 300 businesses in their growth journey, designed bespoke entrepreneur-focused programs, and created strategies for support organizations in similar emerging markets. She also had the opportunity to lead sustainability efforts within various grassroots levels organizations in the country. She holds a master's in social innovation entrepreneurship from LSE and a BBA from University of Toronto. Ms. Roma, thank you for partnering with us for this event and for supporting us. And finally, it is my honor to introduce Ms. Sara Bilal, founder and executive director of Justice Project Pakistan and longtime friend of the Commission, a legal action nonprofit that defends Pakistan's most vulnerable prisoners both at home and abroad. Under her leadership, JPP has achieved historic milestones, from securing the release of detainees from prisons abroad to repatriating prisoners from Sri Lanka, to winning the landmark 2021 Supreme Court judgment prohibiting the execution of mentally ill prisoners. Sara has been instrumental in advancing Pakistan's human rights reforms, including the passage of the country's first anti-torture law in 2022. Her work has earned national and international acclaim, including the Tamga Imtiaz, the Franco-German Human Rights Award, and the Smith College Medal. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sara Bilal. Judges, thank you so much. Teams, all eyes are now on you. And with that, I'm going to start calling you guys up one by one. Can we please prepare for our first team, Stella Alliance? Stella Alliance, your time starts now.
Hello everyone, am I audible? My name is Shamir Deshan and I'm the founder of
Is your mic on?
Hello everyone, it's better now? Yeah. My name is Shamir Deshan and I'm the founder of Alliance. And over the past couple of years, we've worked across various different domains in software development, ranging from finance, medical, education, and a bit of rocket science as well. And now we're here to take our part in the judicial reforms of Pakistan by presenting to you just what you might think, a judicial unified system for transparency. Just would be born digital. Born digital how? Every case after its implementation would be filed, indexed, stored digitally in a transparent environment that is accessible to all stakeholders involved. You can see what your case is going through and how it's interacting with the legal framework of Pakistan. And to calm all of your nerves, we are not talking about a precedence here. This has been implemented with the Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan only a year back. When I filed my company on the 9th of February 2024, we faced the same problem of manual filing. But after the 15th, everything went digital. And they didn't go all aboard. They started off by cut-off date. Before 15th, it was manual, and after 15th, digital. After the entire digital transformation, did they onboard the previous companies that were manually implementing the system. So that's the digital philosophy behind it. And we're not here giving sweeping statements, so we're going to change the entire legal framework overnight. We're going to make in a phased approach, test, implement in an isolated environment, sandboxing the entire thing, and then implementing into the Supreme Court. We are addressing the issue of interdepartmental collaboration and coordination. Interdepartmental collaboration and coordination, because it all comes down to the three ABCs of the judicial problems, which are accountability, bottlenecks, and compartmentalization. The lack of accountability allows for manual processes to take over, and then they have unforeseen issues that can have many different problems for the legal system. We have manual processes. In the lack of manual processes, the legal framework, we have files that are lost. Creating bottlenecks, we don't have access to clear problems. And then compartmentalization, everybody is working in silos. They don't have interconnection with each other, providing the delays and backlog of cases that goes on and on with the system. For solving the departmental coordination and collaboration, the backlog also proceeds. The just way is by solving the real-time case tracking, collaborative case management, and centralized audit trails via SMS, WhatsApp, and the web portal alongside our system that is being implemented in a couple of years as well. But now we have the pilot running, and now we're going to show you how Just works. Adi, could you please take it?
Islam. So this is an overview of Just. So we have a simple and clean design providing how Just works. Just giving a demo of how to track a case demo. You'll just enter your case ID and just click on search. You'll get the name, relevant case timeline, case file. And moving on towards how you can, let's say, track your case. So you can check case timeline, case file, and moving on towards the legal guidelines, you can check how to use the platform, written guides. You can get video tutorials on how to use the platform, how to file your case digitally. If you have any frequently asked questions, you can see it in the section. And now moving on towards the main of our core aspect, the litigant can sign itself. So he can enter his details and sign up his account. As he files his credentials, he'll get a username and password. And after that, he can enter his login details and have a proper dashboard where he can see his overview of his active cases. He can see his notification from the court, from the lawyer as well. Moving toward the document, he can also see the transcripts as well as from the court as well. The written transcripts, whether what's the transcription in the court. Moving towards the decision, he can see the daily decisions from the court as well that was given by the judge. And if he wants to do some payments regarding his court fees or any other payment, like he wants to see the document, so he or she can just upload the payment receipt, and from there the receipt will be going toward the registrar, and that way the whole process works. So moving towards the next panel, we have a lawyer portal. So each lawyer can also log in towards their system as well. They'll be seeing what are the cases listed here. The main core aspect of our Just platform is they can file the case digitally. So based on this, they can enter the case info, the prominent party details, what's the relevant precedent. This is a whole element where we added the AI part, where they can semantically search with natural queries and keywords. That way, it makes it simpler to search and retrieve similar queries regarding the cases. So moving towards the precedent, here is just an example of keyword-based search. Based on that, it retrieves the precedent details based on relevancy of the case. So moving towards the notifications, it's the same. They can get notifications from different the court and the judges as well. So moving towards the judge portal. So the judge portal actually portrays the dashboard where they have the daily cases and the hearing schedule for today. They can also see the stats, what cases are on their docket, and what's the pending decision right now, and which cases are in line. So these also have some menus of which judges can see the daily cases if they want to reschedule for any reason. So they can just click on reschedule and reschedule a date they want to reschedule for. Moving towards after they reschedule, they get a successful notification. And if they want to adjourn a case based on any reason, they can add up a reason if the evidence is defective or any other reason. they may apply, they can add the reason for that, and based on that, the case would be adjourned. Moving towards the case files, they can also see the case files relevant to the cases, and they can search the case, and based on that selected case files, they'll get the relevant documents, and if they want to annotate, they can annotate it as well. So if they want to add a decision, they would be selecting a case. Based on that, they'll like type the decision type and what's the actual verdict on the case. It can be a daily decision as well, or the final judgment as well. And after that, it goes towards the decision history. So based on this, it is all digital rather than manual work. Moving towards the registrar also, and these are credentials from the administrative side. So in the registrar section, they're also seeing the cases that are being coming from the lawyer. They have the authority to approve and reject based on the urgency of the case, and based on this, they have the status of which are the pending cases and what the approved cases they're seeing simply the stat. So moving forward towards the case registration and filing, they can just approve and reject the cases. So as well as they approve, they'll be selecting the assigning the judge basically and the courtroom in the court.
Team, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay. So fast forwarding this, he'll also be having hearings. They can schedule a date, and based on any date, they can file the case in the docket as well of the judge. So this was a short demo for our Just platform. Thank you.
Moving on with the roadmap. We're going to implement it in the first 6 months, improve it by integrating it with the existing system in the next 6. Within a year, we're going to integrate the national system, and in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to range it down to the district level courts, starting with the Supreme as well. Who will just help? Our clients will be courts, the beneficiaries will be the lawyers, NGOs, and citizens of Pakistan. It would be a web app-based portal. The model would be a licensing and subscription-based deal with the courts, and we're going to be moving it with a phased rollout approach. Sustainability has been a crucial challenge for us because it was envisioned in a 3-day hackathon. So we are talking about licensing it and getting some grants and NGO partnerships on board early on, so that we can sustain it to the 2-year part, that we can launch it with the district level courts as well. And then we're talking about scalable model because we want it to start at the top and go down to the bottom, so it needs to be scalable. Because Supreme Court and district courts have a huge difference in cases that are being heard daily. So we need it to be scalable and address the files that are going through the system. And institutional partner partnerships would be required by the government and the national entities. Keeping the streak of the sustainability champion life from my university days, we are addressing the 5 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, including quality education, industrial innovation and infrastructure, reducing inequalities, peace, justice, and institutions, and alongside partnership for the goals. Impact of just for Pakistan citizens would be real-time updates to the case files. For courts, it is improved workflows, and reduced backflows. The workflows, the delays are reduced, and then we can work on transparent interdepartmental collaboration. We have a Pakistan as the digital system becomes more transparent for the public. So we can attract more foreign investment into Pakistan by showing the world that we are transparent and we allow our citizens to check and gauge irrelevant of the literacy rate. Our team includes various different domain specialists, and we are all work fresh graduates, approximately 2 to 3 years of experience in our fields. We have people from solution architect, Hazik is here with me. And we have our legal director, the head of marketing, a legal counsel that helps us answer all the questions to make why it just should work. And we have product manager, Kushi, who developed the workflows around it. And we have a finance manager whether to fund the project where it is. We are proud to be supported by the Nchr, Nchr Technologies, UNESCO, Ministry of Education, and Ministry of IT. Because of them, justice just got easier. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Judges, I now hand over the floor to you for 5 minutes to ask your questions. Thank you.
Hello? Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you guys. Really well done. I just had a couple of questions. They might be more lawyer-based questions. So don't panic. Just be honest with me. So I'm just wondering, have you guys piloted this at all to some extent in any of the courts?
Not yet. So it was basically a part of a hackathon. So we built it out, simple prototype in 3 days. So it was just an idea of how it's going to be looking in the actual production environment. So it's just a POC for that.
Wow. 3 days?
Yeah.
Wow, imagine what you can do in 6 months. So my follow-up question to that would be, I think you need to have a bit more, I think you're on the right track, but you need to have a bit more understanding of the nuance of filing. So if you're going to build something for judges, if you're going to build something for lawyers, if you're going to build something for litigants, there are a lot, it's a whole ecosystem there in terms of filing. And in the past, when I've seen organizations, well, efforts at case management, they've been perceived to be bigger disruptors than they actually are. And that's led to kind of a revolt of all of the people that work in the filing department of the Lahore High Court. So how would you tackle that? So I've given you a concrete example of what has happened in the past with an effort to digitize case management at the Lahore High Court. How would you get around that?
Okay, so answering your question is basically, we have been asking around and being on the advisory on side of legal side for the Supreme Court and the High Court and even the lower district court as well. So we've discussed the idea with them as well, like there is complexity in the whole idea, but you need to narrow down the problem and solve it one by one. So our approach on that would be to scale the problem, list down the problem and take one step at a time rather than combining all at once. So management and the lawyer side, and there would be a proper team working on each panel. Like it's a complex situation right now. So we'll be narrowing down each situation, each panel, and based on that, we'll be interlinking each panel with one by one at a time, not simultaneously working at all on that. It's going to be a step-by-step baby process, taking step one at a time.
The advisory from different court levels would help us build up that, because in 3 days we can get there, getting advisors on board from the legal side, letting them sit down, grinding their mind, and building on that, that would take us where your question is.
So, good work guys. I mean, in 3 days we tried. I don't think I could have done it. So tell me, you're going to build the technology. So who amongst you has the expertise to do that? Are you going to involve anybody from outside? Because it's not an easy task to build something as complex as this. So have you thought about that?
Yes, I have. So the day one, our problem was, what is the problem? What are you trying to solve? So it took around 24 hours just to narrow down the problem, what we're trying to solve. So we narrowed down the problem, and what we decided, like the panels we're going to be developing. So I narrowed me as a technical architect, so I have a technical sound knowledge of how to narrow down and signify the problems and how to architect the solution around it. So I use various technologies that like Nchr and MongoDB and the backend and all that. So based on that, I know how to architect the solution, and when it becomes scalable, obviously the multiple users and the Supreme Court is going to be utilizing that. So it also involves the risk of security and all the aspects from this. That is a complex situation, but yes, we would be needing help from outside as well if it's possible. But I think that I and my team would be more than happy to work with them as well to develop the solution.
The core team of Stellites would be involved in developing the thing. It was just us developing here in Islamabad right now, but we have people on board as well from cybersecurity, from solution architects that have experience of 5 to 10 years in the field.
Within your organization?
Yes.
And how big is the technical team?
It's around 15 to 20 people.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, that was a great presentation and like everyone said, great work in just 2 days. I want to talk a little bit about the revenue model. So at the moment it seems you have one customer that you can sell to, right? The government of Pakistan. If they decide to not go with this, what is the backup plan? is there any structure you've thought of where you can actually provide a version of the solution and start off with it? Because it's going to be a difficult task convincing them, right? You need some kind of traction, you need to show them some kind of proof of concept, it works, it doesn't. Is there a version of this that you can launch with, for example, just lawyers to organize their cases, for example, or something like that? Is that something you guys have thought about?
At the baseline, for the business side, this was proposed by Supreme Court, so we thought that eventually Supreme Court will adopt it. But the question you're asking, that each of the panels that we talk about can be a separate module or an application for the people involved. They can be separate for lawyers, for litigants, for judges, and for the registrar. Whoever's going to adopt that, they can have a simpler platform that is accessible only for them.
Yeah, so you see, for me, that is very interesting, right? When you talk about a larger solution that solves problems for individual users and can have an individual kind of sustainability side or financial aspect attached to each user who would be paying for it. Have you done in your 3 days when you were out, I'm sure, like understanding the market, doing research, talking to lawyers, did you feel that there is space for something like this for them to pay for example, the case side for just the lawyers or for individuals who are filing the case? Are they ready to pay to organize their documents for a higher chance of winning, for example? Are these things that were explored? Because I think these are much more interesting takes on your solution than the Supreme Court, because that's a long shot, right?
We're talking about the business model here, clearly finances.
Yeah.
So we talked to a couple of barristers that were our mentors during the hackathon. They wanted it. They were up for it, that they wanted a system that can make their work easier.
And how much are they willing to pay for it?
We didn't go there. They were willing to pay. We didn't find how much are they willing to pay for it. They're willing to pay as much as they have a person, especially to go to court, get their files out of it, pay something to the registrar there, and then get their files out. That's time wasted, that's money utilized, and resources strained. So in order to get rid of that, they are willing to pay for anything that can reduce their workload.
Yeah, I think just last feedback point for me. If you are to build this further, I would say build it in a way that you can add value to individual users as well, right? And figure out how much they're willing to pay, what is the value that they will associate. So your interface for the lawyers is specifically for them, they're paying you for it, and you're solving a key problem for the lawyers. That's something that maybe you should explore short term, and then long term have your partnership, which I hope goes through.
Also, have you managed to look around to see if anything exists already that you could
It's not
attach one to, that somebody that you can collaborate with? Because I know these kind of efforts have been done in the past, not to the extent that was suggesting. But have you looked around?
Yeah, that was the point number 2, I guess, in the roadmap. Unified it with the existing integrated systems. Because everybody's work have made their own systems, we can get them on board with us. What have they developed, we can collaborate with them and build upon their systems.
Wanted to give just another feedback in terms of advice if you do take this forward. So, people have I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding about how the current case management system works. I mean, for example, the High Court, I come from Lahore High Court, is one of the oldest high courts in the subcontinent, right? So this process of filing has been going on for at least 200 years, 250 years. And it seems really chaotic because it's a lot of paper, and we're in the 21st century. But it's actually, it's like hearing a symphony, right? Like everyone has a part. And it's a very well-oiled machine, excuse the pun. So a lot of times, I do believe there is, of course, immense scope for technology to make a difference, and it should. But I think everyone focuses on what they perceive to be the low-skilled people within here, like the munshis, right? The clerks who are doing the filing. On the high court side, on the lawyer side, on this side. And actually, they're not. They're the ones who are, first of all, is a massive force of people. So we're talking thousands of people that work within the system and churn the wheels of the system, right? And secondly, when we think of them as being fundamentally unskilled or being a part of the problem, you're building in that pushback into whatever technology that you want in this over hundreds of years old system to work. So any solution that you design, more than the lawyers and the judges and whatever, it's the registrar and his group of people and then the lawyers, all of the clerks that go and fuel the work of the High Court every single day that have to be a part of the solution. They can be upscaled, but if you cast them out, nothing you design is ever going to work because they've been at this longer than any of us have, right? So that would be my.
The registrar site has a staff option there that incorporates archivists, clerks, and that part as well. But the time was too short to go through all of that. And the thing we talked about about filing. Once it goes through, we have every single domain expert that needs to be filing because every case is filed differently. There are requirements of every case that needs to go through. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's categories of cases,
Yeah.
and of course the whole thing can be improved. I mean, of course it can. But you need to have
Yeah,
those people as a part of your solution,
Absolutely.
because they'll never let it work otherwise.
Yeah, I understand.
Also, they're valued. They know the system better than anyone.
That was the question we asked for ourselves. Will they let it work?
Thank you, Steve. Team Stellar Alliance. Thank you, judges, for your expert questions. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to,
We
yes.
can also use these solutions at all of our commissions, at the ombudsman office, different organizations that deal with complaints and cases. I think we've got something coming for even within our systems at present, if not.
As the chairperson is noting, we have a lot of different stakeholders in the audience. So if there's a solution you end up liking, please find our team members. That said, I'm going to invite our next team up on stage. Please let's have a round of applause for Rahe Adil.
This is Mohammed Umar, and my teammate is Sar. And let me start from a story when that day when I went district court with my friend, and I just waiting for him in the waiting area, and at that time I just reached a small businessman, and I asked to him that आपके केस जो है आपके कब से चल रहा है? लेकिन आज कि मेरा जो केस है वो पिछले कोई एक साल चल रहा है, वो अभी तक मुझे कोई ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है, मुझे कुछ पता नहीं कि मेरा केस कहाँ तक परस्यू हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ, और मतलब किस तरह के और मुझे वो पैसे को मुझे डिपार्टमेंट दे रहा है। I realized कि यहाँ पे कोई ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है क्लाइंट्स एंड लॉयर के दरमियान, और काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो क्लाइंट्स को प्रॉब्लम फील होते हैं। So at my research, जो हमारे नॉर्मल केसेस है, there are 2.4 million cases in our court, and जो मेरा मोटिव है वो है कंज्यूमर कोर्ट, जैसे कि वारंटी क्लेम्स के हैं वो नहीं होते, जैसे आई जस्ट टेक दैट प्रॉब्लम, एंड इसके जो केस हैं एग्रीगेट 4,700 plus pending cases are left in the consumer court cases. Secondly, unresolved claim के 45 billion जो है जो रोजाना क्लेम हर ईयरली जो मतलब क्लाइंट्स को इशू है, एंड थर्डली जो उनको इशू है वो फेस हो चुका है, लैंग्वेज एक तो लैंग्वेज बैरियर, ठीक है, लैंग्वेज बैरियर है कि वो अपना मतलब कम्युनिकेशन नहीं कर पा रहे होते, उनको आइडिया नहीं होता, तो समहाउ वी कैन से जैसे कि हमारे सामने बात है सम पीपल आर जस्ट टॉकिंग टू दिस मोस्टली, एंड समहाउ एंड हिडन कॉस्ट they just don't know about कितने हमारी कॉस्ट आ रही है, एक्चुअल कॉस्ट क्या हमारी, एंड thirdly यहाँ पे कोई डिजिटलाइज सिस्टम इस तरह का नहीं है कि जिसमें वो अपने केस को वेरीफाई कर सके कि उसके यहाँ का स्टेज चल रहा है। So I just took out this problem and implemented in Rahe Adil. Enhancing public facing service delivery. Pakistan's first AI-powered legal platform is simple, smart, and bilingual. Here is our solution. Digital filing and AI classification. How a person, if I say that I just want to case a file, so उसमें क्या किया जाएगा कि I just open my application. I just open my application and I just case file, and the AI detects that case and mention to the lawyer कि उस केस का टाइप क्या है, ये कोई मतलब कि ऑटोमोबाइल का है, कार्स का है, दैट ऑल कैटेगराइज करने के लिए। सेकेंडली ट्रांसपेरेंट लॉयर बिडिंग है क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे भी हमारे क्लाइंट्स होते हैं जिनको आइडिया नहीं होता कि हमें लॉयर जो है जो अच्छे लॉयर हैं वो हमें कहाँ से मिलेंगे और मतलब उसकी क्या है कॉस्ट वगैरह एंड दैट ऑल एंड रियल टाइम ट्रैकिंग जैसे कि मैं बताता हूँ कि उनको ये भी आइडिया नहीं है कि हमारा केस परस्यू हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा द मेजर इशू टारगेट ऑडियंस हमारे जो है वो रोजाना के लिहाज के जो कस्टमर्स हैं जो मोबाइल यूजर्स हैं जो कि स्मॉल बिजनेस कर रहे हैं या लार्ज बिजनेस कर रहे हैं वो हमारा टारगेट ऑडियंस है लीगल प्रोफेशनल जो लॉयर हैं जिनके जिनसे कि हमारा केस सारा प्रोसीजर सेटल होगा गवर्नमेंट एंड एनजीओज हैं जो इसको प्रमोट करेंगे मार्केट साइज 2.4 बिलियन प्लस टोटल पेरेंट केसेस है जो कि अलॉट है ठीक है कंज्यूमर केसेस जो हैं वो है 4700 प्लस केसेस जो हमारे हैं एंड जो हमारे स्मार्टफोन यूजर्स हैं जो कि मतलब इस चीज़ को जिनकी रिक्वायरमेंट है बट उनको कोई प्रॉपर्ली फ्री नहीं मिल पा रहा वो 1.25 मिलियन है और जो एनुअली लॉस हो रहा है इस वजह से एक कैलकुलेट है वो है 45 मिलियन प्लस with the product view how to a person case their file using this application they have to just upload their evidence and details each and everything and AI auto detect that case and just show that lawyer what type of case this is and lawyer bidding इसमें है कि client के लिए काफी easy हो जाएगा उसको lawyer easily मिल जाएगा and of course lawyer कि उसको client के लिए वो somehow जो आजकल के हमारे क्या कर रहे हैं lawyers they just use social media for their marketing they easily can say कि client के साथ में करेंगे track progress क्या होगा कि हमारे क्लाइंट के लिए आसानी होगी कि वो अपने केस के बारे में जाने क्या मेरा केस क्या मेरी हायरिंग होने लगी है नहीं होने लगी कब होने लगी है उसको वहाँ पे कॉल करिए ला जाएगा इधर UI our design is too much simple not a person can select if they want to use Urdu or English or whatever login page and they can complain their they can use their file contain category type description but this amount of issue है क्या date and that all and उसके बाद केस डिटेल्स के उसका केस आईडी कौन सा है और उसका केस सबमिट कब होगा रिव्यू हो गया है कि बार प्रोसीड हुआ है in Urdu language already said that it's bilingual this design is for lawyer कि जो हमारा लॉयर है उसके पास कितने केसेस आ चुकी हैं राइट नाउ ठीक है वो कितने एक्टिवेटेड केसेस यहाँ पे भी चल रही हैं कितने परस्यू अभी उसमें कर रहे हैं और क्या उसके और नए केस आ रहे हैं दिस इंटरफेस फॉर लॉयर what we can special first
Adu, you have 2 minutes left.
Urdu first AI transparency pricing automatic and efficiency inclusive interface you can say accessible to anyone with smartphone मतलब इसको रख के अगर कोई इस तरह का इशू हो गया है किसी क्लाइंट के साथ कि वो रन टाइम पे उसको केस फाइल करना है they can easily केस फाइल using that application हमारे पास डायरेक्ट कंप्यूटर नहीं है राइट नाउ सो जितनी मेरी रिसर्च मैंने ऑनलाइन की है और मैंने रिसर्च किया तो हमारा डायरेक्ट कंप्यूटर नहीं है ठीक है scalability robust backend design and rapid nation or optimization expansion trust and transparency ट्रांसपेरेंसी कहते हैं कि मतलब हमारा जो मॉडल है वो इजीली सजेस्ट कर देगा अपने क्लाइंट्स के which one is best for you the team or what one is our future roadmap product testing we can take our review from the clients के उनके कैसे applications के क्या issues हैं वो कैसे resolve हम और कर सकते हैं टारगेट एक्सपेंशन इनटू सेल मतलब हम रीजन बाय रीजन में इसको मतलब करेंगे एआई लीगल असिस्ट क्या क्या हो सकता है वो जस्ट इनको गाइड करें क्लाइंट्स को कि अगर कुछ ऐसे क्लाइंट्स होते हैं दे डोंट नो हाउ टू यूज एप्लीकेशन एंड दैट आल्सो अवर एआई लीगल असिस्ट टीच टू दैट पर्सन हाउ टू कैन यूज दैट एप्लीकेशन इन द केस ऑफ फाइल नेशनल लॉन्च इंशाल्लाह soon achieve launch this application so strategies for required funding, mentorship and partnership with the Nchr with the commission level and mentorship from our mentors, lawyers and that all, and funding is the major part of that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Rahil. Other judges, you may now pose your questions for the team. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wish the आपके team members भी होते so we could also, I think it would be great to meet the whole team who's worked so hard in the last 3 days. Great, thank you. I think I'll leave the legal related questions to my fellow judge. I think you understand and able to share more knowledge on that. I think मेरे लिए बस ये है आपने you developed something that's similar to what you saw before, but what my understanding is it's more for specifically for lawyers, right? Directly for lawyers. फिर जब आपने कहा कि हमारा कोई direct competition नहीं है, I just did a simple Google search and I found 3 other case management softwares out there for lawyers, right? So I think कोई भी अगर business that we get like हमारा कोई competition नहीं है, I think that's for me as someone who's worked with so many businesses, I know that's a red flag क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं कोई और वो चीज़ कर रहा होता है, बेशक किसी और तरीके से कर रहा है, and you have to understand what kind of problems they face to be able to build better systems. ठीक है, तो I would advise कि आप उनमें से कुछ solicitor.pca और कुछ ऐसे हैं, उनमें से कुछ को reach out करें, understand what they face when they were building something like this, and solve a problem that maybe they haven't been able to solve, right? That's number 1. And then number 2, privacy को आप कैसे देखते हैं इसके अंदर? You know, I think when you upload very sensitive case documents onto a platform as an individual, थोड़े से आपके concerns होते हैं कि हम, you know, कोई किसको access होगा इस चीज़ का? चलो when you're giving papers, it's a little bit different. But when you're uploading it, it's like many lawyers will be seeing it. Maybe it can be leaked somewhere. Maybe I don't want that information, right? So how would you deal with that?
ट्रांसपेरेंसी को हम इस तरह देखते हैं कि जो है प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज के थ्रू हम उसको ट्रांसपेरेंट करते हैं कि वो सारी जो बैकएंड की जो चीज़ें वो हमें ही एक्सेसिबल हो, वो किसी और को एक्सेसिबल ना हो, तो इस तरह से हम ट्रांसपेरेंसी क्लाइंट की मेंटेन करते हैं.
So you're giving access to lawyers for those case documents, right?
Yeah.
Your case documents about
Well,
lawyers are
accessible.
accessible.
Yes.
How are you stopping the lawyers from doing like, you know, working, or for example, multiple lawyers that are getting हमने इस case पे काम करना है, and they all get access to that information. You know, how are you controlling कि कोई download नहीं कर सकता वो information platform से, वो उधर ही रहे basically.
एक्चुअली होता है इसमें कि हमारा जो नॉलेज ट्रांसफर करते हैं ना उसमें कुछ हमारे साथ होती है कि उन्हें ना हम प्रॉक्सी लगाते हैं कि दे कैन डाउनलोड द डॉक्यूमेंट टू नेट से उसमें आपको फाइबर लगाते हैं किसी चीज़ का कि यू कैन डाउनलोड दैट वीडियो, तो उसमें हम उसको करते हैं फाइबर लगाते हैं जिसको वो डाउनलोड नहीं कर सकता और दे कैन इवन शेयर करते हैं. इफ दे कैन टेक पिक्चर ऑफ दैट कि भाई यू पर्सन बैठ के पिक्चर लेकर उसको शेयर नहीं करते, तो हमारा जो मॉडल इस चीज़ पर वर्क कर रहा है कि जैसे वो पिक्चर लेकर तो अगर टाइपिंग मॉडल कैन डिलीट एक्सेस नहीं लेकर that is on file on the back end.
आप ये बताएंगे कि बिडिंग जो एरिया है कि लॉयर्स बिड कर सकते हैं, आप बिड कर सकते हैं, तो अगर मुझे लॉयर चाहिए तो मैं सिर्फ उनका इंफॉर्मेशन के कितने केसेस किए क्या है उसकी बेसिस पे तो मैं लॉयर नहीं रखूँगी ना, डिपेंडिंग ऑन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ केस इट इज. मिलना चाहूँगी, जरा देखूँगी कि whether I can trust this person. You know, that kind of information you cannot do on by just using technology and just bidding. Price is just one point. और कोई चीज़ आप improve कर रहे हैं other than prices?
बेसिकली हम जो चीज़ इसमें इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं प्राइसिंग हमारे जो लॉयर को सजेस्ट करेगा इफ दे वांट दैट लॉ फॉर क्लाइंट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, एंड सेकेंडली आपका वो है पर्सन के
So other than pricing,
Yeah.
किस basis पे मैं select कर सकती हूँ?
मैं इनके एक रिव्यूज हो सकती हैं, सेकेंडली यू कैन
नहीं
डायरेक्टली
है या नहीं हो सकती है?
आपने
आपके सिस्टम में डाला
या
है?
ये सिस्टम नहीं होगा, यू कैन आल्सो चेक द रिव्यू ऑफ दैट लॉयर एंड उसके बाद आपको उसके प्रीवियस जितने केसेस में होंगे उसकी सारी डिटेल्स आपको हमारे इस पे शो हो रही हैं डायरेक्टली कि जिसके जरिए वो पर्सन जो है वो डायरेक्टली उसको कॉन्टेक्ट कर सकता है एंड ऑल्सो कैन कॉन्टेक्ट ऑन यू कैन से थ्रू
I just wanted to flag another area for you guys. So there's a rule in the Legal Practitioners and Bar Councils Act that forbids lawyers in Pakistan who are members of the bar from engaging in any advertising of their services. Don't ask me why. It's an old British rule that we just haven't gotten rid of. And you'll say, okay, lawyers have all these billboards outside. How is that not advertising? You put a bunch of lawyers, tell them you can't do something, they'll still go ahead and do it, but there'll be some kind of a distinction, right? So I'm interested to know how this bidding might fall afoul of the Bar Council's rules unless you come up with a legal argument against it. So we came across this when we were building Vakil Online, which is a platform that matches lawyers to clients who need them. And this is exactly the bar that we had to overcome, which is how does our product and our service not fall afoul of this Bar Council rule that says lawyers cannot be.
जो हमारा जो क्लाइंट है वो लॉयर पर बिड करके और उसके बिहाफ वो कंपनी से फाइट कर रहा है, नॉट दैट ऑपरेट पे उसका लीगल पर्सन नहीं, वो कंपनी से बिड कर रहा है. तो दिस और इन द बिहाफ ऑफ दिस थिंग आई जस्ट रियलाइज कि ये जो उस स्मॉल बिजनेसमैन था उसका प्रॉब्लम ही यही था कि उसने एक कंपनी के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया था जिस पर वो प्रॉपर्ली मतलब नहीं होते कंपनी वाले. दिस इज द मेजर इशू. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई जस्ट रियलाइज कि ये चीज़ होनी चाहिए. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, Rahe Adil. Can we please have a round of applause for him? Next up, can we please have Team Hukam up on stage?
Hello, hello.
Hello, I'm audible. Should I be loud? Okay.
Let me get you another one.
Hello. Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello everybody, this is Nchr from Hukum. Every day, many thousands and millions of people are waiting outside the courtroom, not for the justice, but for the time to pass. Justice in our country often is slower than those who are seeking it can afford to wait. Why technology cannot change that? Why we are waiting? Why justice did not work more fast? That's where Hukam comes in. We have built a digital collaborative system for Supreme Court of Pakistan and stakeholders to streamline the case from filing to tracking to research and collaboration in the real time with AI assistance.
Sorry, there is.
Stop the watch.
Yeah.
One second. Should be working. Oh, so this is the down button is the next one. Yeah. So that. Good. So this is the button.
Should we start again or?
You can start at whatever point.
So current challenges the Supreme Court of Pakistan is facing are fragmented communication, no tracking, no accountability, too much dependency on the paper, piles of papers pending to go through it, and there is no communication and collaboration between the stakeholders. So we have developed a system where everything will be on the same page. From filing to the verdict, case will have its own workspace. The communication will be on the real-time system.
say next and I'll move it for you.
Okay. Previous one. Yes. The next one. So, I'm sorry, it's got messy. Okay. So,
Relax, breathe, and relax.
yes. So the case will have its own workspace from filing to the verdict. Then the notifications will be the real-time notifications, and every case have its own AI-assisted research to save the time for the judges. We will have the OCR document digitalization, which can also help with making the backlog like workable, traceable, and accountable. I think it's enough to talk, so I would probably move forward to the working website and the demo. Okay, so this is the dashboard for the judges. Whenever a judge will log in, he's gonna be experiencing this digital system. It will have the analytics of their cases. The system will be accessible from anywhere, everywhere. They can use it. They can have it everything on their fingertips, whatever they want. Please scroll down. Yes. So here is the listing of the cases, assigned cases, every information related to the case is here. They can view the case. It's not working, the mouse is not working from here. Yes. Okay. So this is the case workspace I was talking about. It has the information of the collaborators, the case status, what has been done, what's pending, what was the date. So it will be easier to track where the case stands right now and how many times it will need it to be get done and everything. Please move next. Yes, here are the AI insights. So instead of making a generic system like an AI bot which will give you a generic information, as we have all the information of the case in our system, so we can get an assistance from the AI related to that case only. As we have a workspace, everything, each document, each evidence, everything will be there, so it will be easier for us to get information and AI assistance related to that case only. So we have the research part. It has all the information like what sort of cases has been dealt before of this case related to it and everything. Next part, please. So we have the case documents here and the case history. Please move back. This was the judges part. For the liars part, we're gonna have a system where the lawyer will log in and would be able to file a case online. Please go to the new case. So it will have the information like case title, case type, roles, and whatever is needed for the filing purposes. And then this filed case will go to the staff. Please go to the staff. And staff will be able to view that, and they would be able to perform their operations on it. Yes. So this is how the system will work in the flow from the lawyer to the staff, and staff to the judges, and we can later on include other stakeholders and collaborators in the same system as well. The best part of the system that we have a notification system, all the hearings and judgments and everything will be notified to stakeholders. Okay, now I would like to go back to the slides. Move next. So we have analyzed many cases, and we shortlisted like 4 popular cases from Pakistan. We analyzed them if what the duration was on the like traditional system, and what if the hukum existed, how quicker and how easier we could have done that. So the four popular cases where it took around 26 years, 9 years, 8 years, that gone through like 80 to 70% quicker and easier with the hukum, as the collaboration was easy, adjournments could be avoided, so many cases where the files were lost, everything would be catered inside the system digitally and in the case workspace. Please move next. Here is the graph. So next is our business model canvas. Our main collaborators or our main key value partners would be Supreme Court of Pakistan, Ministry of Law and Justice, some reformed NGOs, and we can even market it around outside Pakistan. So it will be easier for us to make it sustainable and scalable. And please move next. We also cater the law firms and the lawyers, and we can also include the citizens afterwards. Move next. That's the implementation plan. We could roll out, as we have seen that many of the legal tech systems has been working in Pakistan since 2012. But the main reasons why they got shelved was there was no adaptation plan. The impact was to make it work quickly instead of make it sustainable. So this is the biggest thing we want to do. We want to take those small steps, make it adaptable. Instead of threatening people that their jobs are in danger, we want them to be in our shoes. We want to make the shoes for Cinderella that fits everybody in the system, and they could, adapt it more easily and confidently. Next. Before closing this down, it was not like got messy to the start, so I'm a bit, So before closing the team, before closing the presentation, I would like to introduce the team behind the hukum. So we have three of us are lawyers from different institutes. One of us is from Punjab University, one of us is from Islamic International University, and one from NASP. I am a software engineer. And I always used to think that I am God's special child. I am here to make some difference and do some bigger things. And one of the cartoons I used to love was where a boy used to draw something from his pencil and it got real. So I think hukum is that vision for me. I want to draw it and I want to be out there, that people can use it and could be benefited out of it. I mean, US return, my father wants us to be back and to be more connected to our roots. As into the land disputes, into the courts and everywhere. So I wanted to make something that will not software, a typical thing, but something that's personal and for me and for others as well. And I think hukum is the thing that's personal for everybody, and it will bring more innovation and easiness to the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Hukum. And judges, we are ready for your questions now. You can also invite this team on stage.
So can I say congratulations? Because not to go back to your presentation that caused you so much grief, but just the judges portal page is the most realistic and useful one that I've seen so far. And I was wondering, how did you guys get it right? And now I know, because we have mostly lawyers and an ADR person working on it. Because frankly, that is actually how they have to look at their cases. I know some of the teams previously that did a good job, but they got some things wrong. So that was really good to see. And even something as simple as welcome back, Your Honor. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but that is how you speak to judges, and that is how a program, if you want them to adapt it, they would be speaking to them. So those little things really actually matter. What I was going to ask is, I think something that one of you asked to a previous team, which is, why are you bringing lawyers into this when just getting a good platform that helps judges manage their cases gives them a snapshot of what they have to do that day, how many cases do they need to decide, I even love the one that goes for their admin assistants.
Yes.
That was actually another excellent page, because that's how they do their deciding as well. Yeah, like the schedule for the hearings, if you scroll down, that is exactly how they manage their courtrooms right now manually. So why do you want to open this up to lawyers? I mean, that's a whole other problem.
Okay, so
Of
the
disorganized
idea behind including lawyers was we wanted all the stakeholders of the Supreme Court to be collaborated on the same page, okay, on the same system. So that's why lawyers are already a big part of the Supreme Court and its all the processes. So that's why we catered lawyers and the judges and the staff members.
Yeah, I think you want to build, it's a big enough problem. Lawyers already have like an SMS service that the court notifies you with, that your case is fixed, or et cetera, et cetera. If someone can just help fix or just improve the way the judges manage their cases, and you're not replacing the system,
Yes.
you're just actually saying, hey, it's kind of like creating a ClickUp or a task management software for judges,
Exactly, that's
right?
We don't want to make something like a swift change, a change which will threaten our monetary system and everything. So that's the idea behind it. We just want to go like little steps to penetrate into the biggest system ever.
Yeah, I would say you got to stick to judges. I think you're going to complicate it needlessly if you go to lawyers.
Okay.
Great job, great
Thank you.
presentation. I think like how you structured it and everything gave us a really, really good context of what you're building. I completely agree, to be honest, even with the previous teams. I personally feel the problem is big enough for you to cater to each individual need, and even their needs are very, very complicated, right? So build for individuals. That way, you know, you're also not dependent on a government adopting your platform. You could also sell it individually in some way. You could solve their day-to-day problems. Maybe a judge individually decides to pay for it and adopt it. You know, they don't really have to. I'm sure they can't have official documents on it. That would be against their what they're allowed to do. But maybe just generally for their own aspects. I think it would be great if you guys are able to build out and then actually go to the stakeholder and start pitching it. I think it would be wonderful. But at the same time, test some of the smaller modules, I would say, already. Maybe one aspect that you're saying is the task aspect, which is something you can already start building out. And also see competition. I truly believe that all of this, I'm sure somewhere someone has tried it. Maybe they have lessons learned. It's the case with every business. I think we probably know that no one has ever tried to solve. People do try. Some people fail, some people do it great. It's best to learn from the people who try before. But great job. I love the team as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to add that I love the fact that you guys have actually made this quite real, and the amount of detail that you put into it. Have you talked to any judge for advice?
Yes. My domain experts were in constant touch with judges and the lawyers from the Supreme Court and other courts as well.
So you understood their process,
Yes.
that's why it's as good as it is.
Yes.
Okay. And so are you still students or have you graduated?
I'm one graduated, other 3 year students.
All right. Well, great job.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Hookem. And now, last but not least, we have Link stepping up to the stage to present their digital solution.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Zafar Ali Habib, presenting Link. With me, I have my co-founder, Fatma Mir, the innovator behind this idea, AI and ML engineer, who did it before, and she's going to do it again, inshallah. And we have our full stack developer, Heather, behind the scenes, who's going to manage the overall demo. So I'm going to start it with a scene that is played out every day in our code systems. That is chasing the case files. Everyone, including me when I was at the Supreme Court, I used to chase case files. I used to call the EPB branch, which is called Electric and Printing Branch, and asking them for my case files so that I can prepare for the next day hearing. But I always caught them late, in which I missed deadlines. I was embarrassed in front of the judge next day. I thought, what was the issue? What was not working within the system? But there were three different problems, three fundamental problems. The one big one is the data that was being wasted at the Supreme Court in sort of case files that are piled in the courtyards, but not used for data analytics and any sort of other useful analytics that could be taken out for the decision making. The second one was siloed operations. Everyone before me had discussed about this. And the third one is the procedural bottlenecks. Let's see what are the numbers, what impact these bottlenecks and these ripple effect had on the system. So if we see, we have, one zero is missing, I'm sorry, it's 57,000 cases actively pending in the Supreme Court right now. And they have disposed of 48,000 cases last year, but still they have 57,000 cases. So it means that every year 50,000 new cases are being initiated or filed in the Supreme Court. We see that 30 to 40% internal staff time is wasted because of the siloed operations and procedural bottlenecks. Almost 20 to 30%, I'm being conservative, maybe more time is wasted in legal proceedings, adjournments, preparations, a lot of other reasons as well. And this is amazing, this is just a conservative number. 45 million pages are filed annually, 50,000 cases per annum. Every file, you have to give 7 copies at least. With 1 copy at least of 12 pages, you do the math. So 45 million papers are filed and stacked every year upon already those files that are already there in the Supreme Court. So here we are. Let's change this story. Let's change the narrative with the link. Legal, interdepartmental network and collaboration. It's a unified platform powered by data analytics, automation and artificial intelligence. That will be a hub for all the stakeholders. That will be a single source of data, and that will be an intelligent automation workflow. Let's see how the transition would look like in real. Heather. Let's start the demo. Thank you, Heather. So this is just the login page. Supreme Court in the middle, all the landmarks of the provinces. So let's start with the lawyer login. Again, we are presenting a unified, centralized portal because to connect all the stakeholders because they all are very relevant. So this is the main dashboard. The lawyer can see case filed, approved, listed, objections by the registry. Then the lawyer can do e-filing, which is very important. Currently, Supreme Court is saying that they are doing e-filing, but they do it through USP, which is not e-filing, I would say. It's sort of, again, a manual process. But this is an e-filing process. A new case can be filed by uploading all the relevant documents, petition, by giving the title and case type, but petition, impugned judgment, advocate on record, affidavit, power of attorney, annexures, any other required documents that are required to file a case and submit a case, and that would be already registered with the registry. Then other certified copies, they can pay for certified copies through payment gateways, and they can get the certified copies. Adjournments, very important. One of the main reasons for dependency. The lawyer doesn't know if the case is going to be adjourned in the hearing. The litigants who are coming from far-flung areas, let's suppose from Sindh, tribal areas, DG Khan, Southern Punjab, but when they come and they know that their case has been adjourned by the other party, it's a wastage of time, energy, and financial loss as well for the litigants. So the lawyers can request an adjournment as well through this digital platform. Advance, not right at that time. And they can also see the adjournments that had been requested by the other party as well, whether there is any adjournment requested by the other parties or not, and whether it has been granted or not, whether there was a sufficient cause or good cause for that adjournment. So, similarly, a lawyer can request for the video link as they had recently introduced in Supreme Court and High Courts. Again, cause list view, integration with the Supreme Court website and roster. But the interesting part, I would move to the registrar portal, like where the game begins, where the procedural bottlenecks and the silent operations we want to resolve. So registrar can see the dashboard. So that dashboard should be very important. That should be filled with data, where there comes the decision making. The registrar should know what sort of cases are being filed in the Supreme Court right now. What are the numbers? What are the criminal cases? What are numbers of the family cases filed? Pending cases, ongoing cases, inheritance, arbitration, human rights, sexual harassment, workplace harassment. What sort of cases they have in their courts right now? And again, they can see the fresh cases filed by the lawyers. They want to send objections to lawyer. They can send it from here. They can see all attachments if they are done. They can see the ongoing cases. If they want to send any objection, so they can list or they can cancel it from here. Let's come to the objections very quickly. Again, then come to the listed cases header, I would say. Listed cases. Yeah, so these are all the listed cases, newly listed cases. So they have to be given a number. So using technology, I mean, if you have all the data that which judge is more expert in which law area and what is the time that judge is spending on one case. So you can use that data. You can use AI, which can justify and give you a draft of listing any new case hearings that can be drafted or that can be assigned and given a new date. So yeah, this is so. Another main issue was the sharing of case files with the judge that I used to face a lot. Why should we share manual case files when we have digital case files? And why should the judges and their staff should have only 15-16 hours of preparation before the next day of hearing? They should have at least 1 week, I would say. These are sensitive matters. So why this less time? So when everything, the data is digital, the data is already over there, the registrar, with the assistance and with the guidance of the Chief Justice, can assign and share all the case files with the judge, and then the judge can see. I would say, Heather, move on to the judge portal now. Let's see how the judge will see his portal or her portal. So this is the overall dashboard. Ask for AI assistance, search legal. So this is the AI insight. The judge wants to see his or her cases. These are the list of cases. Let's suppose a very criminal, famous, that if there's no name, the case is named as Fidaus and versus the state. So the judge can see the petition. The judge can summarize the overall case with the technology, with AI. What is the case brief? A little slow, Heather. A little slow. Yeah, thank you. So facts with page numbers and trial court proceedings. Again, impugned order. What is the impugned order? Main evidence relied upon by the prosecution with page numbers, ocular testimony, medical evidence. So all the relevant information that a judge would require to decide a case that is in front of him or her. Again, I would say, so the judge can see the overall library that he can or she can access through their portal. They can have the all digital library in their portal, like they have all the cases that we have, like PLDs, SCMRs. Why don't they have in their portal? Why do they have to get a physical copy from the library? So similarly, all access to all acts, codes of provinces, if they want to see any codes of KP, Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan. Similarly, there's a smart drafter module for judge. The judge can now ask the AI to draft the judgment based upon the case brief that you had given me. So this could be a draft judgment. This could be depending upon all the main key points that the platform had figured out and had pointed out.
Steve, you have 2 more minutes.
Let's go to the task delegation. So judge has law clerks, their staff, they can delegate their tasks to their supporting staff like law clerk. Then they can see their bench as well, the overall bench and a cause list, which is very, I would say, Heather, let's move to the public portal. So yeah, also access to public portal, a mobile application where the litigant can only have the access to track their case, where it's pending, where it's going, what's the next date, and having our Urdu version as well, so that they are more accessible. And then let's get back to the presentation. So it's, now let's think that how Link is going to bring change that we already have issues. So with Link, we want to, we want to reduce the case backlog by 20%, which is very reasonable or maybe conservative, I would say, per year. Increase the efficiency by 25%, the internal efficiency, and reduce the legal proceeding times by 30%, and 90% of paperless operations. Who is winning from this system? Who is the actual beneficiary of this system? So judiciary, court, the legal community, the internal staff and administration, and the public at large. Business model, a very tricky part for us. So what we thought is that phase one, target customer, Supreme Court, one-time fee, very practical, and then a recurring maintenance fee if they agreed upon. And then phase two, we can expand national level to high courts or the district courts and all the judicial bodies. And then we can offer a customizable link, software as a service. And that can be, the revenue model could be as a subscription tier, depending upon the court sizes and their workload. So Link is not just an idea, but it's a platform that wants to create a system, create a platform, a transparent, accessible, and efficient system to provide access to justice to all of Pakistan. Let's make this together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Link. You will now answer the judges' questions.
Thank you so much. Just for clarification, I think there is no team slide, so could you tell me a little bit about your team?
Yeah. So I'm Zafar Ali Habib. I'm the founder of the Link, and we have a similar product as well. So Fatma Mir, she is the AI and ML engineer. She's also a co-founder, and Haider is a co-founder, and he is a full stack developer. We already had developed a similar legal tech product as well for lawyers and legal professionals that is already in the market. So we had the idea of how to implement, how to develop, and how to deploy, and the pains as well, because we have been in the market for the past few months. This is the intro.
That's great. No, we can tell. I think you have a competitive advantage over there that you have built something before, so you have the learnings, which I think you could tell the difference. And you guys are the only ones who went into detail about your revenue model, which is very interesting to me. But ideally, I don't know how it would work, but any government institution would just one time buy the license, right? They wouldn't want to have a subscription in that way. So how are you thinking of it as a platform?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, so that's when the first phase we just posed that it would be a one-time. And in the second phase, I mean, it can be, we can try, but as you said, it's very difficult. But what we are thinking is that collaborating already on another product, which is called AI Attorney. It's a subscription-based model for all the users like citizens, legal professionals, in-house lawyers, government legal officers. So we can link it to that, and it could be an awareness and platform as well that you can access to your legal rights. The lawyer can use it as a research tool. It's also a practice management tool as well. We have embedded some of the case management, a little bit of case management. You can manage your case files, you can manage your schedule, and also integrated these cause list, drafting. So our initial plan was to deliver it to the Supreme Court, and then with the high courts, if so that we can offer the case management module and the document management module and integrating with the AI Attorney platform.
Yeah, just a comment. I think, just a simple case management platform would put you like everyone else, but that AI component you're talking about sets you really apart. So build it, like, just feedback for as you build further. I think building further on the AI component sets you apart from anyone else who would be selling something similar. And someone who could just, simply be able to go in and see the recurrence of a certain type of case. Even me as someone who wants to file a case, right, as an individual. I just want to be able to go into maybe a local AI platform that tells me this many similar cases have been filed, this many have been won, okay, this many have not, and just simple statistics that give me an idea for decision making, that do I even want to go into this entire space or not, right? So I think that's your advantage, but great job. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to add on to, I think that portal, that the AI model that helps you, judges actually read their case files faster is an incredibly useful tool. I know that judges, I don't want to quote the wrong Judicial Academy, but I think the Federal Judicial Academy is now teaching judges on how to write judgments faster using AI. I am cautious. I use AI. I love AI. It's here. It would be fools to ignore it. I'm a little bit cautious of relying on it too much, but judging how it can, if you ask a judge, and I don't know how many of the teams actually did that, but if you actually go and sit in a courtroom or if you ask judges, what are some of their biggest problems that they face on a daily basis in a courtroom? They will just say managing their time, because an average high court judge of, I don't know, like it used to be when we did the research, has about 80 to 100 cases per day that are listed, right? And somebody else raised this before as well, that you have to read those files the night before. So being able to actually read them faster using AI, I'm a little bit scared about like what kind of evidence and stuff, because that's where the judging comes in. And you'll be taking too much away from us as lawyers if we let AI just do that job. But I think you're onto something really useful there. If you can help judges read their case files with AI, you're actually providing an incredibly important service. I would say add in the other thing that judges need, which is research. So Pakistan Law Site, which is the biggest law site for research, is usually aimed at lawyers. It's not a very, it takes a lot of time to get it right. Judges don't need that. They need better curated research. So maybe tying that in. And you had one other thing in your platform, which I thought was very interesting, was the adjournment stuff. That is incredibly useful. I'm not quite sure how you're going to deliver on it, because so are the lawyers filing it before, and because the judges have to decide. So usually an adjournment gets filed on the day of the hearing, both sides contest it, then the matter becomes adjourned, or the judge says nothing doing, we're having this hearing. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you envision that? Because I think it's something really promising. I'm just quite not sure how you're going to actually manage it. Like, do I, as a defense lawyer, have to sign up every day, or does it send me a notification if somebody's filed?
So it's a great question. These are certain procedural things that the Supreme Court needs to take upon. But just to request the adjournment and letting know the other party in advance. Let's suppose if the adjournment is confirmed or not confirmed by the court, that is the later stage. But requesting adjournment, it can at least 50 to 60% assure the other party that the other party is requesting for adjournment, I should also not go. And so the issue would be that the litigant won't be coming, and the lawyer, if the lawyer is also not going, it means then the judge would be more prone to give the adjournment then. So at least that part of the wastage of energy and the time and the money and financial loss for the litigant, that can be covered at least.
So in addition to all the great questions my fellow judges have asked, I think one of the interesting things about your product also is the notification part. That notifying in advance, I think that is something, instead of lawyers or judges going back to the software and having to look for things, if they receive the notification, then it saves them a lot of time. So I think that in addition is a good part of your product. So well done. I think it's a great product. I think your advantage, of course, is that you've built the product before and
think I'm just going to reiterate something I said before. Let me tell you a problem I face in my organization, okay? So we invest in multiple businesses, startups, things like that. For each business, we need to go back and look at, for example, when they're registering maybe a legal question or something like that. And for each time, we need to engage a lawyer, right? It's a big pain point we have. So I'm just asking everyone in this room, because I know you guys are building for the other side, but there's an entire customer base that would be willing to pay to get something like a lawyer on, like an AI lawyer or something like that on my laptop, so I can just go in and ask a simple question in Pakistan, what does this business need to be registered in under SCP or something like that, and get that. And I would be willing to pay that fees, because I have to pay a lawyer otherwise, right? So I think this is a big problem area that someone like you could solve with AI. Just a suggestion.
Thank you. I would say, I mean, it will put off many lawyers as well sitting here, but yeah, we are already doing that. Many of the startups, we got feedback from our clients that they were very happy by using our platform AI Journey, and they said that there were a lot of plain questions that they didn't know about it, like, as you said, SCCP registration. So most of the startups didn't know that how to register their company, how to IP their company, how to file the trademark, and they had to pay like 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees to a lawyer just for this basic knowledge. So now they're using AI Attorney, and they are giving us, I mean, it's minimal subscription, but I mean, we are happy to that we are of some service to the community.
So one more question. You know, there are new policies coming out all the time, legislation especially covering the digital ecosystem. And many judges are not aware of either the legislations or don't understand it enough to make judgment. So very often they have to bring in an expert to advise them. I want to include in.
That's a great idea, ma'am. I mean, that could be easily done because right AI is to life, we have all that data, and we are training that. But adding to your point, I mean, we can just, I mean, you're a technology person, you can just open and click the web search and ask a question in coordination that whether if you were the financial expert and if you have this legal query, what would be your opinion about that? So it's doable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Lane. And that wraps up our final pitch competition for Rewiring Rights. Can we have a round of applause for our teams? Thank you so much. I would also like to acknowledge the Honorable Barrister Akil Malik, the Minister for State for Law and Justice, has just joined us. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Just a small recap for you. So we had our 4 teams present solutions. They worked on these solutions in a very, very tight period of 3 to 4 days, day and night. They worked with our mentors, our team leaders, topic specialists to come up with these solutions. We've looked at dashboards, we've looked at AI technology, we've looked at just ways to make life simpler for our lawyers who are working day and night. We've talked about reducing the case log, we've talked about so many different kinds of things, and now I would like to just show. Please cue the highlights video.
2.4 मिलियन केसेस हमारे फोटो में सब फंसे हैं जो भी आमतौर पर तस्वीर करते हैं दैट इज की कोताही है लेकिन जज की कोताही नहीं है ये सिस्टम डिजाइन भी इस तरह से है कि यहाँ पे केसेस पेंडिंग में जाएंगे.
The majority of Pakistan's population is under 35, so it's pretty much the youth that is going to bring all the changes in Pakistan.
अगर तो इस तरह स्टार्टअप यही इनिशिएटिव लाए जाए और एआई और टेक्नोलॉजी को इस्तेमाल करें, इनकॉर्पोरेट किया जाए तो हमारे फ्यूचरिस्टिक इश्यूज बड़े खत्म हो सकते हैं.
Our idea is about automating the process of Supreme Court and its related stakeholders to collaborate and betterly and in an AI-empowered environment, and it will increase the case timelines.
हमारा फोकस है कि हम जो रूरल साइड हम उस तरफ जाएं, उनको कोई इस तरह का प्लेटफॉर्म दिया जाए कि जिससे वो मतलब कम्युनिकेट कर सके वहाँ पर जज के साथ और वो अपनी ट्रैकिंग कर सके मतलब अपने फाइल्स की और केसेस की।
जो पाकिस्तान की रूरल ज़्यादातर आबादी है उसको ज़्यादा बेनिफिट करेगा। उनको अगर हम पे टू सीधा कर लेते तो इसका मतलब हमें ऑलमोस्ट 60 to 65% of आबादी को पे टू कर लिया, which I think is more than enough.
हमने इसका स्टार्टअप का जो चीज़ है वो है RightsHackathon। हम बेसिकली इस तरह करें जो कंज्यूमर कोर्ट के जो लोग हैं जिनको मसले मसाइल आ रहे हैं तो वो हमारे एप्लीकेशन के जरिए वो वहाँ पे ना केस रजिस्टर करता है, लॉयर वहाँ से हायर करता है और जो भी उसका मसला वो अपना हल करवा सकता है।
The solution is there are others on the table, लेकिन उनको एक्चुअली एक्सिक्यूट करना इस तरह कि आप एंड यूजर उसको सेटिस्फाई कर रहे हो और वो एक्चुअली जाके डिप्लॉय चीज़ हो रही है, दैट्स व्हाट रियली मैटर्स। तो इस हैकाथॉन की मुझे अच्छी बात ये लगी कि इन्होंने हमें शुरू में कोच किया इस तरह कि हम डोमेन लेवल पे जाके चीज़ों को समझें और फिर सोल्यूशन की तरफ आए।
जो इम्पैक्ट है इन स्टार्टअप्स का वो बहुत अमेजिंग था और बहुत अच्छी आ रही थी और कुछ ऐसे हैं जो शॉर्ट टर्म के अंदर इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकते हैं, create a serious impact on the problems of the Supreme Court.
It's great to see young people coming forward with such ideas. The integration and the accountability, transparency, I hope that one of these solutions is implemented at the Supreme Court.
This was a very needed hackathon, and I think along with healthcare leaders should be the top priority.
As we are the Gen Z, we are the future. Pakistan is with us. We are with Pakistan. So everything will be on our terms now. Everything needs to be reformed and tech savvy and digital.
जैसे कि एक बड़ा डॉक्टर साहब ने गोल है कि गो फॉर द बेस्ट बट बी रेडी फॉर द वर्स्ट, बट जैसे कि फर्स्ट हम पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट को देखें तो इंशाल्लाह हम उसको जरूर ड्रीम करेंगे और हम अपने जो पाकिस्तान के इस मसले को इसको हम जरूर हल करेंगे।
It is now my utmost pleasure to welcome Dr. Samuel Risk, the UNDP resident representative in Pakistan. Prior to his current position, Dr. Risk served as the head of conflict prevention, peace building, and responsive institution at UNDP's Crisis Bureau in New York. He also served as UNDP country director in Syria. He has managed a sub-regional response facility in Oman and held advisory positions in Sudan, Yemen, and at other UNDP headquarters across the world. He holds a PhD in conflict analysis and resolution from George Mason University. Thank you so much, Dr. Risk, for your continued support for Nchr, and I request you to step up to the stage to offer your remarks.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. One admission to begin with. I go to a lot of things for UNDP, climate-related things, energy-related things, but this is the place I feel most comfortable with the people, with the subject matter. But that doesn't mean I'm going to wing my speech. I'm actually going to read some of it. But really appreciating being part of this process now. Acknowledging first the Honorable Minister of State for Law and Justice, Barrister Akil Malik, friend of UNDP, a friend of human rights, and great that over the last couple of years we've celebrated Human Rights Day together as well. Honorable Chairperson, National Commission for Human Rights, Madam Rabia Jabari, who personally models perseverance, persistence, activism, advocacy for human rights, a very difficult subject here in this country, and any country, but whose words often make a lot of things tremble in the room. Today it was the screen behind her that was flickering. really appreciating how much work she does. Also a friend of UNDP and certainly a great advocate for human rights as well. Honorable distinguished panel of judges and the 4 finalists. I felt at this point that, especially when we got to the end, that this was kind of a Shark Tank for human rights, or Survivor, if you watch that show. Whatever it is, I look forward to seeing the television show that actually comes out of this. But congratulations to all of you, and a warm welcome to everyone else who is here, guests, partners, innovators, and participants. So it is a great pleasure to join you at the close of Rewiring RightsHackathon for Justice. What we're witnessing today is more than a competition. It's a continuation of the national conversation that we began 6 months ago, a conference titled From Promise to Action, Advancing SDGs 16 for Justice and Reform. At that time, we spoke about reform, digitization, accountability, and today those ideas are coming alive with youth-led innovation. We know the state of the justice system in Pakistan. You've seen some of the numbers. Has a lot of immense pressure. Almost 2.5 million cases are pending in courts. Prisons operate at 152% capacity, and nearly 3/4 of inmates await trial. These are not just statistics. These are individual lives and families who often have to put their life on pause pending the settlement of a case. Very happy to see that almost everyone today treated justice not as a value, as a right, but also as a service, public-facing service that actually gets things done. Over the last 3 weeks, I visited at least 2 chief justices in KP and Balochistan, and lawyers, and the Bar Council, and district and session judges and magistrates, all of whom actually had a lot of this on their mind. Speaking about how to dispose of the cases, speaking about how much pressure there is on judges when they actually have to dispose of cases 110% of their caseload to actually get things done and get through this large caseload. And prosecutors and many others that are part of the ecosystem of justice in this country. One thing before I forget, as we talk about judges, etc., among the other initiatives that we are actually supporting in UNDP are either ADR processes, alternative dispute resolution, or court annex mediation centers as well. I wonder, for example, if in addition to the work that is being done formally for the courts, support with this kind of system and dashboard can actually help court annex mediation centers. I just found out just a couple of weeks ago when I was doing some of these visits, from lawyers in Balochistan particularly, that if you are looking for comparable examples anywhere around the world, look at China. China appears as a comparable in many cases for Pakistan as part of CPEC, etc., having their poverty, all of these things. But I hadn't heard of one particular statistic, which is in China, 99% of all cases actually go to mediation. Only 1% gets to the courts. I mean, probably wouldn't be surprised, right? If all the cases in China, with over 1.5 billion people, probably more, get to court cases, what the backlog would actually look like. This is an amazing statistic that I heard judges say it would be great if we actually have other parts of the justice system to deal with this. I can't imagine a more fitting opportunity than using this kind of dashboard and hackathon to be able to help the justice system move forward. There's another thing that's happening in Pakistan that I think is really quite important, perhaps part of the reform process that has begun in earnest in this country over the last 1.5 years at least. Pakistan's digital transformation now offers immense potential. With over 200 million mobile connections or users, and one of the fastest growing tech centers in South Asia, the tools to make justice more accessible are already at hand. This hackathon proves that when digital innovation meets justice reform, progress actually accelerates. UNDP, we believe that innovation is most powerful when it is inclusive, when technology serves people, not just businesses and markets, and when data empowers citizens, not just powers systems. That's why we are proud to stand with the National Commission for Human Rights and with other partners like the EU and many others who are actually on this board as well, to bring together public institutions, private innovators, and young change makers under one shared mission, to make justice more accessible, transparent, fast, and fair. So this hackathon also reflects the spirit of UNDP's youth strategy for 2030. With 2/3 of Pakistan's population under 30 years old, this generation is digitally fluent, socially conscious, and ready to lead. The ideas presented here today, from improving access to legal aid to digitizing the case management, show how creativity and code can work together to reimagine justice delivery. Reform, however, does not happen in silos. It requires government commitment, private sector ingenuity, and civic participation, all of which are represented here in the team. I commend Nchr once again for pioneering this initiative, and the EU for its steadfast support of the Pakistan 2 project and the entire team at UNDP that works on that. Also for another project, Delivering Justice, also supported by the EU, both of which work hand in hand alongside a number of our UN partners to actually get this kind of work done. To our government partners, particularly Ministry of Law and Justice, your engagement shows that reform and innovation are not competing priorities. They are complementary forces driving the same vision of an inclusive, digitally enabled Pakistan. To the participants, you are the heartbeat of this particular effort. You've shown that coding can be a form of civic engagement and that technology can bridge the gap between rights and reality. And as Pakistan advances digitally, we must ensure that technology deepens inclusion, not divides it. I've been wondering since the start of this particular process, what would actually happen if we upped the prize? It's a modest prize now, everybody gets a shield, etc. And found a way to actually figure out how the 4 finalists can work together. So, how about, for example, a judge's portal from Hawk, the resource component of Link, the search function and accessibility from RightsHackathon, and the SDG link also from Justilce. I often wonder how we can actually manage to continue to support and accompany the innovation today. One person wins, I think for the next few months we can find a way to work together. That would be a great opportunity and definitely for us. Some of my UNDP colleagues and maybe also in our government partners know that among the many asks that we get in UNDP is a dashboard. We have a lot of entities that come to us and say, how about a dashboard where I have 10 dashboards? Why don't you help us create the mother of all dashboards? And this will be it. I wonder if we had actually seen some of these presentations, we might have saved many hours and many millions of PKRs. But at the end, the idea of digitizing civic space development is in the back of the minds of many civil servants who operate in very important spaces here, but need a little bit of support to make life easy for them and for everyone that they serve. At UNDP, we are committed and remain committed to the vision of supporting Pakistan's institutions and the innovators and the youth to advance SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. The ideas born here today are proof that reform is not just a policy, it's a process that belongs to everyone. So many thanks to Nchr, the EU, for their support of Pakistan and Deliver Justice, to our government partners, including not only those who are here, but other parts, judiciary, Supreme Court, Judicial Academy, all of that has come up. And of course, the brilliant young change makers who remind us every day that the future of justice will not be written only in law, but also in code. So with this, I want to thank you again for being here today. Very inspiring afternoon. And I don't know, but I'm actually just as nervous as perhaps everybody else to figure out who actually won today. But thank you again for joining us today and looking forward to the final results.
Thank you so much, sir. Now the moment that we've all been waiting for, I'm going to invite Ms. Roma Latif, Country Director of AP, up to the stage to give a few words about their decision. And then Honorable Minister Barrister Akil Malik, I request you to present the award to our winning team. Thank you.
Hi everyone. This was completely unplanned, but I'm representing the judges over here on stage right now. I think it was a difficult one, and we were having a discussion outside. And based on that, I'm also going to announce the runner-up, so there's context, and then we'll announce the winner. I think starting off, we saw a lot of potential in the team. We saw a lot of potential in the solution, they had experience, and that's why we're calling them a growth stage company. And that's why they're the runner-up, which is Link. Now, for the winner, this was a little bit more tough because we looked at several aspects. What this hackathon is all about? You know, who is the target audience? What are we trying to achieve here? And I think there's a big focus on having youth at the forefront, building something brand new, and having something that hasn't been thought about in that same way before, and a lot of youngsters who could be involved in it. So based on that, our winner is, should I go ahead? Ready? Is Kukum. Can we have you on stage? And
Thank you so much, Team Hokum. If you could just wait by the stage. Thank you, Ms. Roma. It is now my pleasure to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Barrister Akil Malik, the Honorable Minister of State for Law and Justice. Sir, I know you have a busy day. Thank you so much for joining us today. Barrister Akil Malik is recognized for his expertise in constitutional law, human rights, and international legal frameworks. Trained in the UK and US, he holds an LLM in International and Comparative Law from George Washington University Law School. He's a member of the Honourable Society of Grace in London, and as the founding partner of ANC Partners, he has led high-profile litigation and advisory work involving NAB, FIA, and international dispute resolution. Barrister Akil Malik brings a strategic, globally informed perspective to Pakistan's evolving landscape, and he has worked extensively with the youth. He's really the best support these teams can have today. Honorable Minister, I request you to step up to stage to offer your remarks for our winning team and to present their award to them. Thank you, sir.
Honorable President, representative of UNDP, my dear friend and brother as well, Chris, Honorable Chairperson of the National Commission on Human Rights, Justilce Saiba, Honorable distinguished panel of judges, I'm not point that actually, and distinguished guests, respected colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and the participating teams. Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I'm certainly going to be doing a little bit of an official spiel, but I think it's very important given that we have these young teams, folk contesting teams, and each one of them actually performed brilliantly. But I think obviously we can only have one winner and one runner-up, but I feel with the little amount of work and the effort and the innovation that I've seen in all of those 4 teams, I must say that each one of you is a winner, and we will certainly find a way to work together with the youth and with these teams and with these great minds, because this is exactly what we need in this day and age of digital transformation, digitization, the advances made in technology, but also the government's priority of not just digitizing our economy, but involving and
अंग्रेजी का भेज दो हाँ हाँ भेज दो टाइम इज़ वेरी लेस मेरे पास हैं तस्वीरें मैंने अपनी बना ली बस ग्रुप फोटो तुम मुझे भेज रही हो यहाँ से वो भी दे दो
and making the best use of that. Because AI is a reality.
ये भी बना
And
ली
just using AI for computing, certainly you can't limit yourself to that. You can't just be closed. You have to make use of AI in each and every profession.
उनके नाम भी डाल
And the
लंबा
legal
हो गया
profession
कोई
and
बात
the
नहीं
human
अभी
rights is certainly cannot be
ग्रुप में शेयर कर दें अदरवाइज उर्दू में भेज दी उर्दू के लिए
for the general welfare of the public at large. Now, starting with the official part of the spiel, it is truly an honor and a privilege to be here at this proposal event hosted by Nchr. The Commission obviously has emerged as a vital institution of Pakistan's democratic landscape, working tirelessly to safeguard the rights, raise awareness, foster dialogue on issues that directly affect the dignity and well-being of our citizens. I commend the work that you have been doing personally as a chairperson and the Commission in general for creating spaces such as this, because this is what we need in this day and age, where stakeholders can reflect on challenges and build collective solutions. As the Minister of State for Law and Justice, I also wish to reaffirm that the Ministry remains committed to strengthening Pakistan's legal and institutional framework, while the Nchr has its own independent and crucial mandate. Our goals intersect, ensuring that justice in Pakistan is fair, accessible, and timely, and that the fundamental rights of the people are protected in both letter and spirit. Together, through shared effort and collaboration, we can make the premise of justice more meaningful for every citizen. Over the years, Pakistan has made considerable progress in strengthening its legislative and policy framework. We have enacted laws to address custodial torture, safeguard vulnerable communities, and bring our national practices closer in line with international standards. These reforms underline our resolve to protect the rights and provide justice that is effective, impartial, and responsive to the needs of the society. At the same time, we must recognize Pakistan's obligation that extend beyond the national level. As a signatory to the ICCPR, Pakistan has undertaken a binding commitment to ensure that access to justice is protected, preserved, and guaranteed for all individuals within its jurisdiction. The United Nations Human Rights Committee, through its most recent concluding observations that are not merely critiques, but serve as reminders of the international standards that we have pledged to uphold, and as guideposts for reforms that can bring our justice system in closer alignment with both constitutional principles and global human rights obligations. Nevertheless, we must acknowledge the continuing challenges. Our justice system is confronted by a backlog of cases, prolonged litigation, and procedural hurdles that often discourage ordinary citizens for seeking timely remedies. This is not merely a question of efficiency. It touches upon the very essence of the justice itself. If the system fails to deliver relief when it is most needed, justice risks losing its meaning. The Ministry of Law and Justice is prioritizing measures to enhance access to speedy justice. The concept is simple yet transformative. Justice should not only be fair, but also prompt. Amongst the steps that we at the Ministry of Law and Justice have taken, with obviously with the help of our external partners, and specifically when Samuel Lewis spoke about for the lack of a better word, not that it's actually on top of my head, the system. And the dashboard, sorry, dashboard, thank you. Dashboard. So we've actually also been helped, and we've modernized the case management system in courts with the promotion of technology, including e-filing and digital records to minimize delays, strengthening of ADR, alternative dispute resolution, so that many matters can be resolved outside the lengthy court processes, and building the capacity of our legal institutions and practitioners so that we can meet the demands of changing society. Also, I think it's a